Okay guys, so I just reacted to a whole 25-minute video and realized I wasn't recording. And I don't really feel like rewatching it because it was horrifying, for one. And for two, it wouldn't be genuine reactions anymore. But here we are with a shorter video. 5 most disturbing Reddit posts. Right here. I have liked the video and I'm still subbed. I probably mentioned it before this video, but here's my book on Amazon and in the description. Go check it out. This channel will also be in the description as well as this video. And let's just start it. It's from Chilling Scares. Again, Chilling Scares is great. Okay, we got a creepy Reddit. So this is disturbing Reddit post.
In November of 2013, a Reddit account that's since been deleted made a post on the Let's Not Meet subreddit. r/Let's Not Meet is a subreddit where people share actual true scary encounters they've experienced. The poster explains how he just found the subreddit and wanted to post an experience of his own. He lived in Brisbane, Australia at the time.
Drink some water.
He recalls how his dad had just purchased Foxtel, which was cable TV in Australia. Only the TV in the lounge room could use the cable box, but the poster really wanted to use it in his room downstairs. He didn't want to buy a second cable box, so he instead opted to buy an AV transmitter, a much cheaper option. An AV transmitter was basically a 2-part piece of hardware. One piece would connect to the cable box upstairs.
This guy's voice sounds different in every video.
The other would connect to the TV back downstairs. It would then transmit a wireless signal. This would allow him to receive a video signal to his TV downstairs.
Gotcha.
The first image in the post shows the TV in the room on the dresser. The poster goes on to explain how he and his sister were the only ones home when he decided he wanted to try and set it up. He connected the AV transmitter to the cable box upstairs and to his TV downstairs, but it wasn't working. He tried changing the channel, switching around the cables, nothing was working.
I already have goosebumps from the last video.
The cable box upstairs wasn't even plugged in,
you guys didn't even get to see.
Obviously it wasn't going to work. But the screen then started fuzzing in. After a while, a bedroom could be seen on the TV. Immediately, he pulled out his phone and took a picture. At first, he thought it was his bedroom, so he ran out. He went upstairs to tell his sister.
Is it his sister's bedroom?
They later went back down. The TV was still getting a signal, but they had no idea how. The AV receiver plugged in was somehow receiving a live feed.
What?
They were able to confirm that it wasn't the poster's bedroom, or any bedroom in the house.
Okay.
They waited until their parents got home, and when they did, they told them about it. All of them went down to the TV. This time, there was a man in the bedroom.
What the hell?
The poster took another picture. He then explained how his dad recognized the man as one of their neighbors. Somehow, the AV transmitter was receiving their neighbor's camera feed. None of them really knew what to do. This went on for a week, and they started feeling kind of weird having access to this. The poster went on to explain how their neighbors had been having renovations done to their house. Workers would be at the place pretty much all day. They again tried turning on the TV to fix the signal. It was still showing their neighbor's bedroom, but this time they saw their neighbor's plumber. Eventually he went right up to the camera and looked directly down the lens.
The hell?
He started messing with it before putting it back. The poster's dad told their neighbor about the camera, but they had no idea what he was talking about.
Oh, hell nah.
He convinced them to let him go to the room to try and find the camera. Hidden in the wall, he did find it. They immediately called the police.
The music's getting horrifying.
The poster didn't hear anything more for the next week, but they eventually asked their neighbors whatever came of the situation. Apparently, the police camped out by the house each night and found that one car in particular would always park right next to it at the same time.
Jeez.
A man inside would pull up his laptop, but not get out of the car. He would drive off before the sun came up. The man was discovered to be the plumber, the man who planted the camera.
What? Fake plumber?
That's where the post ends. In a reply comment, the poster confirmed the man was arrested, but he doesn't mention what he all got charged with.
So he'd pull up at night, pull up his laptop, wait till the sun came up, and stalk a man through a camera? Why?
This post was a reply comment in an Ask Reddit thread.
Why?
The original question read, "What is the creepiest thing that has ever actually happened to you?" One of the top comments is a guy who recalls a set of disturbing experiences he had throughout his life. He says they're 100% true, and even shares a video he took as supporting evidence.
Oh goodness.
He starts by sharing an experience he had when he was 8 years old. It was 11 p.m. and he was walking his dog with his mom out in his neighborhood, which was
This
in
is the
Lansing,
video
Michigan.
link?
He said it was quiet that night, but all of a sudden he could hear this whistling sound coming from a nearby swamp. His mom heard it too. He said at first it sounded like a bird, but the whistle had a more human-like tone and wasn't really consistent, making him think it was a person. He remembers his mom looking very concerned and immediately changing directions back towards the house.
Oh, hell no.
That was the first experience. The second happened 2 years later.
2 years later?
He was again taking his dog for a walk out late at night, but this time alone.
Alone?
He heard the whistling again.
Again?
He immediately remembered how he felt the first time he heard it 2 years ago. He sprinted back to the house.
No, this guy's haunted.
Nothing would happen for years after that. He was now 24 and had moved away from Michigan to South Dakota. For the 4th of July, he and his girlfriend decided to sit along the bank of the Missouri River at a somewhat popular spot to watch fireworks from a distance.
Okay.
Most of the other people had moved upriver to get a better view, leaving them pretty much alone. That's when he once again heard whistling, reminding him of the 2 experiences he had years ago now when he was a kid.
Whistling with the fireworks?
This time he pulled out his phone and started recording.
Ooh.
It picked up the whistling.
Wait, it did?
He attached the recording to his reply comment.
Let's hear. Oh, hell nah. This guy, since he's 8? Has been hearing whistling follow him. He even moved and he still hears it?
You whistling? Is it you?
He questions his girlfriend.
Why did it take so long to
this
ask?
time it was just her. But it wasn't her. The whistling continues until eventually the 2 of them hear slight paddling out in the water. He turns the camera, and in the darkness you can just barely make out a man in a canoe slowly paddling towards them.
Barely, yeah. What the hell? This is very disturbing.
But he did say that when the man got close enough to the shore, he stood up and yelled out, "Who are you?" To this, the man then simply turned around and started slowly paddling back towards the way he came without saying a word. That was the last time he ever heard the whistling. He still doesn't know what to make of it.
He's got a whistling man that just follows him?
To have stalked him all those years from Michigan to South Dakota doesn't exactly seem the most likely. But it's still possible. He basically ends the reply comment with many unanswered questions. Like, who was the guy in the canoe? And was it the same guy he heard whistling when he was a kid? What does the guy want from him?
No, that'd be
He doesn't
horrifying.
know the answers to these questions.
Just being in the woods in the beginning.
He says that he still
and
worries
thinking that it's
he
a
might
bird.
sometime hear the whistling again.
But then realizing it's a person.
I wanted to take a minute to talk about this video's sponsor, Established Titles.
Established
Titles is a project based around an old historic Scottish custom where landowners are referred to as lords or
look how the
ladies.
vibe has just
They
changed.
allow you to buy as little as 1
We
square
got the
foot of
upbeat
dedicated
music.
land in Edelston, Scotland, to which you'll then be sent
We're
a
helping
certificate officially giving you your title.
nature. Okay,
And it's
well
not like
that's
some fake
a
certificate
little
either.
scary.
You can officially change your
I'm gonna
plane
fast
ticket or
forward.
even credit card to include lord, location of your land located. Charities like we're an amazing last minute right now. Plus, if you use the code CHILLING10, you can get an additional 10%
Use the
off.
code.
The first 200 people purchasing a title pack using my link will effectively be next to my plot, like within a few minutes of walking. So go to establishedtitles.com/chilling10 or use the link in the description to get your own title.
Gotcha. Oh, right back into
Roommate
it.
wanted,
Right back into
female
the
only.
unsettling stuff.
This was the title of a Reddit post uploaded
Females
almost 10
only.
years ago now.
Roommate wanted.
It refers to the title of a Craigslist ad a girl named Amanda had seen while looking for a place to rent.
Okay.
The post consists of her detailed experience.
Let's hope it's a man
browsing the
wanting a
internet when she came
female,
across
or
the
sorry, a woman
The listing was
wanting
for
a
a
female
roommate.
roommate, not a man,
House for $225 a
because that
month,
gets a little
which was pretty cheap for the
creepy
area.
and weird.
The occupant listed herself as a 23-year-old college student who wasn't comfortable living with any males.
Yeah, makes
Amanda
sense.
would get her
So
own
they
room
said
and
they're
bathroom.
female, but are they
The only
actually?
thing was the Craigslist ad only had one picture.
That's the
It
only
was a picture
picture.
of the outside of the house. There were no pictures of the inside.
What the hell?
But still
not
interested,
getting
Amanda
that.
sent an email to the occupant. In less than an hour, she got an email back with all the details and the time to stop by. The time said 8 p.m., past when it would have gotten
8
dark.
p.m.?
In the email, the
No.
occupant said this was because she worked late.
No.
So, that night at 8 p.m., Amanda arrived at the house.
She arrived?
She walked up to the front door and was met by a handwritten note that said, "Door broken, use back door."
Door broken?
She started walking around towards
Use
the back.
back door? No, no, no.
As she did, she noticed how unkempt the place looked. The windows were covered in dust.
We took
and
a
the grass was
picture
way
while we were
overgrown.
back here?
She knocked on the back door. An older man opened it.
Oh, gosh.
At first, she thought she was at the wrong house.
That's what I'm saying.
The guy went on to explain how he was the landlord.
Older
and
man.
The occupant asked him to show her around.
No.
The post described him as clearly in his 40s, unshaven, and a guy who looked like he lived in his car. A
Leave.
bit hesitant, Amanda stepped inside and allowed the man to give her a tour.
She stepped inside.
Immediately, she noticed the place had no furniture whatsoever.
No furniture. Amanda.
There was only one light on,
What
a
are you
light in the
doing,
kitchen.
Amanda?
The landlord would answer questions, but was irritable to keeping lights on for too long. He rushed her around, only letting her look in rooms for a few seconds.
A few seconds.
They eventually got to one room that the landlord wouldn't open. He said it was the occupant's room and that she wouldn't want them to go in there.
Yeah, sure.
As they were heading back to the living room, Amanda noticed a plank nailed across the front door. She tried to get out
They
of there, thanking the owner
planked
for
the
the
front
tour
door
and heading
shut?
back towards the back door.
So it wasn't
That's when the
broken.
man perked up and mentioned how he forgot to show her the basement. He explained how it was just recently furnished and would make for a great rec room.
Yeah, let's go down to the
He was
basement.
standing between her and the back
Amanda.
door. She felt like she had no other choice. He opened the
What?
basement door, saying, "Ladies first," as he motioned her downstairs.
No.
Just then, an unrelated car parked outside on the street. At the exact same time, Amanda received a text on her phone. She pretended it was a call and faked a conversation about her friend being outside waiting to pick her up. She quickly excused herself, leaving the back door and now full-on sprinting to her car.
Ooh.
When she got home, she called the cops.
Damn.
She tried going back to the Craigslist ad, but it was deleted.
The ad was deleted.
It turns out the house had been foreclosed over
Holy.
6 months earlier. The property was completely abandoned. There was never any real occupant.
So
or
there
any
happened to
real
be a
room
car
rent.
driving by, and she made the
room man
excuse
didn't
that
wanna
she
show her
needed
the
to talk
tour.
to her
Turned out
friend
to be the
for a
room he
second.
lived in. But the worst part was the basement. Police found a piece of fishing line at shin level strewn across the stairs about halfway down.
Oh.
There was no furniture down there as the man had said.
Fishing line.
There was nothing but a pile
Trying
of
to
old
trip
blankets,
her?
a broom handle wrapped in leather belts, and a small box with rolls of duct tape.
Duct tape.
The poster never mentioned if the man was caught or not.
So, yeah.
The new lens blur tool
So,
in
yeah.
the Lightroom mobile app is the best way to get
Don't-
high quality edits.
Don't
with
trust
just
that.
one click. You can
Amanda
get
was
an
smart in getting out of there,
2014.
but pretty
Jenny,
stupid
a
for
single
going
mother,
in
would
there.
Make a post on Reddit titled "Experience Using Sleep as Android app." Sleep as Android is an app that's supposed to help you
Just
improve
making
your
sure I'm
sleeping habits.
recording still.
It's basically a more advanced
I wasn't
alarm.
last time.
It will track your sleep cycles and wake you up at the most beneficial time.
Okay, 4.6
One of the
rating.
features of the app is that it records audio during the night. In the post, Jenny
Oh,
explains how
no.
she'd had the app for a few months. She would sometimes review the audio, but all she ever heard was herself coughing, moving around in bed, stuff like that.
Okay.
That was until one night, when at 2:04 a.m., the app caught something different.
What?
Jenny was going through the recordings to delete them when she found it.
Her app caught.
She posted the audio
sound.
along with the Reddit post.
Jesus.
Oh, what are you doing?
What?
Clearly, a male voice can be heard responding to Jenny's sleep talking. She says, "What are you doing?" To which another voice quickly replies, "Nothing."
Nothing.
Some clicking sounds then start up before the voice speaks again. Although it's not clear what's said this time.
What?
The only two people in the room that night were Jenny and her 3-year-old. But the voice that's talking sounds much deeper,
Oh,
something that neither Jenny or her
nah.
3-year-old could have replicated. One Redditor took it so
Nah.
far as to test this.
These
In
videos.
a post
I
titled, "The
swear.
voice in the famous sleep app recording is not the woman talking to herself. He gives proof to prove his point." He basically goes into detail about how the human voice works, and that the pitch of the voice in the audio clip couldn't have been replicated by the woman. Her voice was just too high. He even reached out to her and got further samples of her voice to confirm this.
No.
This led many to
imagine
believe that
waking
she was the victim of a home invasion, and that someone was in
Hearing
the
that
process of
someone
searching
was
her
in your
bedroom for
room.
things to steal. But to this day, we still don't know. The man in the audio clip was never identified. The original poster has since moved to a different house.
Yeah, I'm glad you moved. Glad you did that
In
for yourself.
2012, an Ask Reddit
Oh,
thread
we're
was
not
posted
done.
with the title,
Goodness,
"What is the
this is
creepiest
scary.
true story someone has ever told you?" A comment that has since been deleted by the user recounts an experience her parents had told her, where they had unknowingly encountered the
It's been
serial killer
deleted?
Ted Bundy on their first date. It was around the time in the day where the two would have said goodnight, when the man in the
Okay.
situation suggested they go for a midnight hike up Provo Canyon in Utah.
What?
He was familiar with the place and didn't want the date to end,
A midnight
so he figured it was a
hike?
good idea.
Not. What?
She agreed.
She
So they drove up to the
agreed?
mouth of the canyon, got out, and started hiking with only the light provided by the moon.
Only the light of the
The
moon,
two
no
started getting a bad
flashlights?
feeling when they came up to a section of path under some trees, which had no access to light. The path was almost pitch black, but they continued on.
Nah.
As they kept walking, the man felt his foot hit something soft directly in the middle of the path. It was too dark to see anything. Instead of inspecting it, the both of them agreed to turn around and run back to the car. They soon
Oh.
forgot about it, until many years later, after being married for some time, when they were watching
Oh,
an
they got
interview with Ted
married?
Bundy around the time he had been captured. The interviewer asked him to describe the time that he felt the closest to being caught. Ted Bundy proceeded to explain the night that he lured a girl into Provo Canyon and took her life. He said that shortly after, he heard a couple walking up the trail and managed to hide in the trees just before they would have been able to see him.
What?
A man then walked directly into the woman's body, but for some reason just turned around and walked away.
What?
That night, the poster's father had walked directly into a corpse without even realizing it. The serial killer Ted Bundy was only feet away from him,
What?
and he had no idea. That was where the reply comment ended.
Ted Bundy. Like imagine that happened to you and then you happen to see Ted Bundy talk about what happened. That's insane. Okay. Another disturbing video from Chilling Scares, and it lives up to its name. I literally get goosebumps and chills every time I do a reaction to this channel. But if you guys want me to react to that 25-minute video again that I reacted to already but forgot to record, then let me know. It was probably the scariest video I've seen of his, but I won't be scared anymore. Know what's happening. But thank you guys so much for watching. Go check out my book in the description, this channel, and have a good rest of your day. Goodbye.